Hi Sagittarius, welcome to July. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month we have the last of the Capricorn eclipses. We have a full moon lunar eclipse on July 4th or 5th, depending on where you live. And that's in Capricorn at 13 degrees. And then we have a new moon in Cancer. This is not an eclipse. This is just a regular new moon at 28 degrees, and that's on July 20th. We had a new moon eclipse in June at 0 degrees. This is the second new moon. But it's not an eclipse, so it won't be as impactful. But it's still a good new moon. And it has it's opposed by Saturn, so there could be some complications, but in any case, I'll get into that later. But let's see what Sagittarius needs to know for July. What is coming up? What will the eclipses bring? So with the full moon eclipse, there should be something coming to completion, culmination. In Capricorn, that would be your second house of money, self-worth, values. What do I value? Security. And it's also affecting your 8th house of intimacy and resources that you get from others. So something is completing at this time, at this full moon. Anyway, let's see what the cards say about July. What does Sagittarius need to know about July? What endings and new beginnings are on the horizon for July? Now remember that eclipse energy lasts for 6 months, so this full moon eclipse in Capricorn may take time to play out. It may not happen exactly at the eclipse. It may happen a month before, a month after, or even up to 6 months later. So just keep that in mind. So what does Sag need to know for the month of July? Let's see what we get. The Knight of Swords. The Two of Pentacles. The Four of Wands. The Two of Cups. The Four of Swords. The Hermit. The Hierophant. The World. The Queen of Cups. The Fool. So, the Knight of Swords energy. This is an energy, and you may be feeling like this Knight of Swords energy. This is a quick energy, someone that wants to just jump into something without thinking. The Knight of Swords energy has a little bit of a recklessness to it, where someone's wanting to, you hear about something, you want to do something, and you just want to jump without thinking. So you want to be careful of that, because you may be insensitive to the people around you. So you want to think about what you're going to do before you do it, and take other people's feelings into consideration, because sometimes this energy can be a little bit insensitive. Now you have the Two of Pentacles here, so you're busy this month. You're juggling a lot. And you may be, sometimes the Two of Pentacles is someone who is laughing on the outside but crying on the inside. So you may be pretending that everything is okay, but it may not be. And you may be thinking, okay, where am I going to move next? What's my next move? And I want to get there quickly. Because I don't think you're not exactly happy with the current situation. And maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed because you're juggling so much. Now, in the past, you have the Four of Wands. This is a card of victory, stability. So you've had a recent success. And you're even working with people or dealing with people with the Two of Cups that are more in harmony with you. So this is a card, Two of Cups energy. It could be a soulmate connection, a romantic connection. And sometimes the Four of Wands can represent marriage. And if it doesn't represent that in your life, and if it's more career related, then it just means, stability, security, and working with people that you get along with, that you're on the same page with. So you may feel like you're in a more harmonious environment. Coming up in the future, you have the Four of Swords and the Hermit. So the Four of Swords energy is like a healing, taking time out to heal, to meditate, even the Hermit. So I feel like maybe you're really doing a lot of soul searching and evaluating, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. And because the Hermit energy is about thinking about what is right for me? What do I really need to be happy and fulfilled? And am I on the right path? So you may feel a little bit indecisive or not sure about what you want to be doing or where you want to be going or what relationship is right for me. And you may go to some people that you trust for advice, because the Hermit is sometimes following an expert's advice, or following the doctor's orders, or talking to someone whose opinion you respect just to get their take. There could be also maybe a health issue where you have to take maybe you've been working too hard, you need to take some time out and rest and heal. Or you've just been feeling isolated and lonely, because sometimes the Four of Swords, I think you're healing over some past thing and you're not quite recovered. So you're taking time out to think, where am I going? What's the next step? Where do I want to be? Because I feel that even though you're in a better place than you were before, you're still not where you want to be. And so you're kind of thinking, okay, what's my next move? You have the Hierophant here. And that's in your fear sector. The Hierophant, you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge over the years. This is also your blind spot. You might be a little bit stubborn or not open to change, because the Hierophant energy is sometimes they call it Taurus energy because of the bull, because Taurus is stubborn. But the Hierophant energy is an institution. It could be a company that's been around a long time that's not open to changes, or you might be dealing with people that are very conservative and you want to make change and they don't see your point of view. But it could also be your own stubbornness, your own reluctance to change, or your thinking might be too rigid. The other hand, the Hierophant also represents wisdom, sharing your knowledge and wisdom. So you have knowledge to share and you have wisdom to share, but maybe you're not valuing it enough, or you're thinking, no one's going to listen to me, no one cares what I have to say, or something like that. So maybe that could be like a block, a psychological block. Like you have a lot of gifts and talents and you need to be sharing that information and not doubting yourself. You have the World card here in your environment. So something is coming to completion. The World is usually a good card where things are ending on a positive note. Things are, everything's finally happening, coming together. And you're getting ready to step into the next level. You're ready to move to the next level. So you've accomplished we've learned a lot over the years. And you are now getting known for your expertise, and you're getting known for your knowledge and your skills. And the World card is like world travel, or, it could mean connecting with a perfect job, connecting with a good partner, feeling that you're doing work that really speaks to you. But it also represents something that has been taking up a lot of your time is now going to be coming to an end. So while I feel like there's an ending and a new beginning. So you're kind of, so now you're contemplating, okay, where do I go? I feel like it's more like a strategic move. Like, okay, I finished this portion of my, I've gotten to this level, I've completed this portion. What's my next step? Where do I go from here? Because I think you're ready to move up to another level, whatever that may be. Another level of fulfillment. And you have the Queen of Cups here in your wish fulfillment sector. So you could be dealing with a water sign or someone who's very intuitive, compassionate, psychic. But it could also be your wish is to be like the Queen of Cups. Maybe you're wanting to move in that direction in your own life, where you're using your intuitive skills and knowledge. Or you could be having to tap into that talent within yourself. Because the Hermit can sometimes mean taking time out to listen to the inner voice, to get that inner guidance, because we all have that. We have a wise person living within us, that divine spark. And when you need guidance, sometimes all you need is to just quiet your mind and sit in meditation and let that voice come up from the depths of your subconscious and let that voice be heard. And so that's what you might be doing in July, taking time out to think, to listen for that voice, so that you know where you're going next, so that you know what new beginning should I start, and how do I get there. And you have the Fool here. This is an outcome card. The Fool is putting you in a new environment, brand new, that you haven't experienced before, new situation, brand new beginning. It's like you're turning the page. You're turning over a new leaf, and you're starting a new cycle. So here you have the World. This is the last card in the Major Arcana, and here's the first card in the Major Arcana. So you're ending one cycle and starting a new cycle, brand new beginning. You're like, throwing your fortune to the wind, casting, I'm off to this new world, and I've got my dog with me, my trusty intuition, my guide, my power animal, and I'm moving on. So there could be some new beginnings coming up in July for you. And I'll look at your chart and see exactly where that might fall. But whatever it is, something is completing, something new is beginning, and I think it's going to be a better fit for you. I think you're going to find that it's just what the doctor ordered. And you're going to come out of this state of isolation and loneliness, because sometimes with the Hermit you've been like keeping your distance from people, like you haven't been reaching out. So if you're going through some kind of troubled, where you're trying to figure things out, don't do it by yourself. Don't be afraid to reach out to others, because others are there for you. You don't have to do it alone. You can ask for advice and opinions. Even if you don't follow the advice, at least ask. Bounce some ideas off on some other people. Don't be stubborn, thinking nobody has anything, like you know it all and no one else can tell you anything. It's good to bounce ideas off other people. They might add extra insight that you would never have thought of. So, but you're definitely going to be on a new trajectory soon with the Fool card. So let's see, the full moon. The full moon is happening, this lunar eclipse, in your second house, and the sun is going to be in the 8th house. So the full moon in the second house, and it's an eclipse. With Pluto and Jupiter there, and Saturn, something, it could be some kind of karmic thing is coming to an end around self-worth issues, and around how you are earning money. What are you settling for? Are you settling for too little? Are you getting paid what you're worth? Are you valued? How do you value yourself? Because the way you value yourself then kind of influences how people value you. So if you want to make more money, you have to say, I'm worth it. You have to tell yourself, I'm not gonna settle for $2 an hour. I want $100 an hour. Whatever it is. So you have to, I think you're waking up, because the Capricorn energy and the full moon energy it's showing you a realistic picture of your financial situation in the second house. And it's showing you, okay, this is the reality. What do I need to do about it? So, but with Pluto and Jupiter there, for some of you, it could represent that you finally find a place that does value you, that you do get serious about your money, get serious about how you're earning, what do you need to feel secure, and put the work in. Saturn, which is going there too. And Saturn's getting his last, he was in Aquarius for a couple of months, and now he retrogrades back into Capricorn. So it's his last hit in your second house. So you got to get it right. You got to put the work in. And if you do, Saturn will reward you as he leaves for the third house when he's going to move into Aquarius. So usually Saturn leaves a house, and he always leaves a reward for hard work done. And Pluto and Jupiter are coming together. They just came together on June 30th. But they're retrograde. So it's still a lucky influence. So you could have had some kind of financial abundance, but it's still not the full, it's like putting out a fire with like a half of a hose, like the full strength. You need the full strength of them, and they'll hit again in November. So this is maybe just starting the ball rolling, and you may see the final results or fruits of your labor by the end of the year. But you could have had some good news with Jupiter and Pluto when they came together, or some opportunity pop up. The Sun and Mercury are in your 8th house. That's about communication. That's shining a light on looking at, you might be signing contracts. Maybe you're waiting for some kind of insurance payout, or maybe if you have a partner, They may be contributing money. There might be some communication around who pays for what and who's responsible for what, and you might be discussing that. All these planets are in favorable aspect to Uranus. So Mercury is sextile Uranus, and Uranus is in your 6th house. So there could be some things around work. You might be negotiating more money, or more support. Maybe you need more financial support. Maybe there's a grant money or an insurance payout or some kind of a loan from a bank. Also, the 8th house has to do with intimacy and confronting your dark side. So the sun can be shining a light on that. Are you blocking intimacy? Are you afraid to get close? Are you afraid to be vulnerable? Are you afraid to communicate? And is that holding you back? Because Cancer rules your 8th house. So where do I need to nurture myself? Where do I need others to help nurture me? Am I nurturing others? Am I attracting? I need to be mothered in some area. So those are some of the questions that might pop up at this time. And especially because this full moon, it pits the Capricorn energy against the Cancer energy. So it's an opposition. So are you working too hard because you need money and all you care about is money and you want to, self-esteem? I want to make a lot of money because it makes me feel important. But I'm neglecting my personal life. I'm neglecting, I have no time for intimacy. I have no time for relationships. I have no time for family. And so now I'm feeling alone. I'm just all about work. So those are some of the things that might come to light at this full moon. You have Venus in your 7th house. So Venus, it's a good time to attract a partner. When Venus goes through your 7th house, it makes partnerships run a little bit more smoothly. And just be careful because Venus at some point is going to square Neptune. And you might have some, you might want to make sure that you're not over-idealizing someone. Now, you have Mars going through your 5th house. Mars just entered Aries. So it moved out of Pisces in your 4th house and it's in Aries in the 5th house. So this means it's giving you a boost of energy. And what is it telling you? I need to do something fun. I've been working too hard. I haven't done anything fun. I need to be creative. I need to give voice to my soul. So if there's something that you want to do that has to do with creativity and creative self-expression, Mars is giving you the energy to do it. 5th house is also the house of children. So for some of you, you may want to have some children. You're thinking, I want to have a child. So be careful if you don't want to have a child because Mars in the 5th, you may be a little bit not, reckless with that. So you just be careful. It could also mean fighting with children because Mars is aggressive energy. And especially since Mars is going to be squaring Mercury most of the month, in July. And you have Mercury in the 6th house. So it could be that you're arguing with people that are under, your coworkers. Maybe you're wanting to do something a certain way and you're getting frustrated because it's not, you have a certain idea of how things should be done and they're not getting done that way, and you might be having ideological discussions about the right way to do things. Also in the 5th house is Chiron, the wounded healer. So maybe you have some wounds to work out around, how do I have fun? Do I leave time for fun? Am I having any fun? Is it all work and no play? Maybe you need to make time for fun. Maybe you need to, because the 5th house is the house of pleasure. Sometimes they call it the house of sex. And some people say the 8th house is the house of sex. I think that the 5th house is the house of sex when it comes to recreation, fun. And the 8th house is sex when it comes to intimacy, going deeper. So one thing is just having these free-spirited, sexual relationships, like one-night stands or casual sex. And the 8th house is more committed sex. That's how I look at it. But where you actually become vulnerable and you're bonding with someone on the soul level. So Mars is activating your 5th house, and it's telling you need to have some fun, girl, boy. So if you're not, if you're all work and no play, you need to get some play in this month. What else? Let me see. So then we have the new moon. The new moon is in your 8th house, and it is opposed by Saturn in the sixth, in the second, the second house. Listen to me. So the 8th house, I feel like in this case, you want to have a new start. You want to heal some wounds about, you want to look at the dark side. You want to open yourself up to greater intimacy. But you have this fear, Saturn in the second house. Fear of giving up your security, fear of depending too much on someone else's money. You want your independence too. You could also have a lot of work to do. Maybe you have a scarcity mentality in some ways when it comes to money, and you're afraid to share your resources with someone else. Because the 8th house, you have an opportunity to bond. It's a new moon, it's a new beginning, to bond with someone, to have a relationship that's nurturing, that's feeding your soul. But there's fear connected to this because Saturn's opposing it from the second house. So maybe you feel like I'm not good enough and no one's going to want me, and so you keep people away. Or maybe you're afraid of being controlled by someone else, or you're not willing to let you have to drop your guard and be softer, kinder, and not harsh. Maybe the Saturn energy is kind of like stay away. It's a very rigid, harsh kind of energy. You have Mercury in the 8th house, and it's squaring Mars in the 5th. So maybe you need to have some kind of healing conversations, and because you have Chiron in the 5th, with a child, with children. And it may be that you're discussing issues around money or financial support. Maybe you're expecting your child to step up to the plate and be more independent and be more supportive. And you're not, you're the one who's always taking care of everyone. It could also mean a romantic partner. Maybe you need to drop your guard and have, talk about your wounds. Talk about your vulnerabilities and not be afraid to do that. Now you have Jupiter and Pluto in your second house. So Pluto is transforming how you earn money, how you view yourself. You're going through some major changes in the way you view yourself and how you value yourself. And Jupiter is giving you that chance, an opportunity. So there's going to be an opportunity that comes up, and here it is, the Fool, that's going to allow you to break free of any kind of limiting beliefs around how much money you can earn and your worth in the world, your self-worth, and what you need for security. When Jupiter and Pluto come together, it's a wealth-building aspect. So you can transform your earning ability so that you are bringing in way more money and you're being more supported financially. But to do that, you may have to confront some shadows, and you may have to overcome some psychological blocks around earning your money and heal some wounds around, obligations and intimacy. And you may have to, what was it? I was just lost my train of thought. And Saturn means you're going to have to be committed and disciplined to do the work. And if you do that, if you're willing to work hard and you're willing to not be afraid to overcome fear and really look realistically at anything that you have been doing to block, if you're not happy with your financial situation, what have I been doing to block my finances? Where do I need to grow or think, or value myself more and demand more so that I'm not settling for less, so that I am getting paid what I'm worth, so that I am, attracting love and money. That's some of the issues that might come up. And you have this new moon, you have an opportunity to have this new beginning. To get to feel more nurtured, to not feel so alone, and not feel like it's all work and no play. So that's coming. You just have to be open to it, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to show your weaknesses. You don't have to be this strong person. You can be, you can say, hey, you know what? I need help. I need advice. I need love. It's okay to say that. So anyway, I'm excited for you because you're on a new path. You're going to be on a new path. So don't be afraid of the new path, and open yourself up to healing. Open yourself up to others so that you're not so, locked in this bubble of aloneness. And so that's my reading for July. And I hope you enjoyed this, Sag. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. And if you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website. We'll get you on the schedule. In the meantime, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting this channel with likes, with subscribes, with comments, with ordering readings. I really value and love your support. I wouldn't be here without you. So enjoy July, Sag, and welcome the new beginnings. You're on an exciting new path. Enjoy it. I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.